A beautiful look at Beijing as we go into our second game between RNG and Vici Gaming. And I went to Beijing, and I do not know where that is, but I'm bookmarking that because it looks exceptional. Much like the performance of RNG in that very first game. Hello and welcome back. My name is Jake Asteric Sozzy Banker, joined by Brento Raz Muhammad. And game one saw the best of RNG, and only the best is a clean game indeed.
Yeah, it was great. Whenever you see RNG perform like that, you get a glimpse at what they see as perfection, right? Specifically on Karsa and Xiahu, where they were able to just kind of manifest, just kind of take advantage of what Korn was doing in the early, Korn and Youngdang, mostly Youngdang, early on in the game.
I think as well, Youngdang was like met by surprise when Karsa ran into him, and who I thought was going to be our MVP in game number one, but instead it was Xiahu, who was scattering the week like it was none of his business.
Yeah, you know what? I'll give it to Xiahu. I felt confident about his current performance. It's more of a 2v2 at the end of the day. I still think Karsa played out of his mind. So if you ask me, Karsa easily, but it's going to be the second MVP here for Xiahu.
But now that we're looking at Xiahu, you can start to say, look, Syndra was a great performance, and this guy is just having his season. Like, this 2019 summer split for him is looking like some of his best.
You can give him whatever you want, too. I think Xiahu, when it comes down to his supportive options like the Karma, you can even throw in Lulu if you want to.
Yeah.
I don't. I just want to see him playing. Like, I just want to see resources get pulled into Xiahu and him to be able to thrive. I don't want the same old discussions that the fans or whoever they are come out and start questioning Xiahu's ability, because he comes out and he's a baller.
And remember that, we're in the middle of a flex meta, and Xiahu adds a different element of flex. While Langx, might play with things like Renekton, and we can play with Aurelia, Xiahu can play with flexes that also incorporate the bottom lane.
Yeah, so the Karma is something that we should focus on coming into the series. Kind of reminds me, back when we had discussions about Karma bans that usually went and levied towards Duinbi, but then you think about Ming and Xiahu, how they were able to perform, makes it so much easier for Coach Steak coming into this team and realizing, oh, I got another Karma ban to go for. I can deal with any of these bans easily and just go down to what the real strategy is.
I'm taking a good look at Xiahu as we MVP in game number one. Excited to see what comes in game number two, because we did see that Karma and we did see that, flex potential, but left to the end anyway. And RNG coming into this series, the expectation was always there that they'd perform well against Vici Gaming, but I'm just taken back by how well.
I think at the end of the day, what we saw was a lesson in just vision control and how to make best of it. That's why Xiahu and Karsa got such an advantage on top of Rek'Sai, and another reason of why he was able to great cut through and ultimate to get a kill on the Soutwind. So I wonder what Soutwind's going to be pulling for. Maybe he's going to be focusing on the Tahm Kench to at least have some level of protection, and being caught out by the Gragas early priority that RNG's been looking for.
Or maybe we see Vici Gaming go back to that Xayah Rakan bottom lane on the blue side, which is where they were in game number one. RNG, another red side win, by the way. They continue to only play this side here in summer as we get into game two.
Wonder if there's a change here in first pick for Vici Gaming, because if we're just going back to why the bans are coming through, should be another all jungle ban from RNG. The Aatrox is a great jungler as well. Sure, he's been played more as a top laner, but such a strong pick there. Sejuani has a ban, not a surprise with the Aurelia gone to the wayside. Rek'Sai should be the first pick if Youngdang still feels comfortable on that. But with how well the matchup went in favor of Karsa just because of how he played, I think they're going to realize that the Rek'Sai is not as important.
Okay, well, you do see that getting away from Uzi Xayah is the priority here from Vici Gaming. So Puff finally going to get his champion back.
And this was picked so early. So the possibility of a Xayah Rakan is still incredibly possible. Southwind is the engage type.
Yep.
We're just talking about the supports.
Galio,
big-headed, the type that wants to. We're talking about a fight, he's going to headbutt you.
Yeah.
Like, that's who he is as a player. So, Alistar is the go-to. But right now in this meta, this Xayah and Rakan has been something that they found consistent success with.
But Ming also plays it, and with the Sivir locked in here for RNG, do they give away the Rise? Do they give away the Rek'Sai, which is still up and available?
Yeah, Yuumi is the type that I still see that's up and
Also
available.
true.
I think that we should see a Yuumi from RNG. But a lot of teams in the LPL have decided that when they see a Yuumi, they'll just go towards like a Nautilus per se. Something that can hard engage and draw jungle attention from their own side. So we'll see what the mind games are here. And if Vici Gaming want to go to between either, and we'll find out here, the Yuumi or the Rakan. I don't really see another option unless if Southwind wants another try at the Lux.
Yeah, that's right. I like how he pulled out the Tahm Kench there before as well, but Very different phase when you see the Zaya there as a first pick. Youngdang, though, the Jarvan is something we kind of hovered over talking about because the Rek'Sai was still available.
And he's dealing with the Sivir, where, right, the Cataclysm is just the go-to answer if we're talking about all these junglers not being able to pincer or puncture through the spell shield.
Yep.
Cataclysm will be able to do that, so the Jarvan is going to be a great focus on the bottom side of the map.
Eventually, Soutwind does get the Rakan, so we get the Dream Duo in the bottom lane here for Vici Gaming. They're back to square one. This has been their most successful pairing for both spring and summer.
Do we get a Yuumi game?
Ooh, good question.
Give it to me.
Ming seems like the person to play it,
don't do it, man.
but he's Thresh. Raz, two games,
all right.
all wins, flawless KDA after 2 games on this Thresh. This will be his 3rd.
This is going to be fun. That we get ourselves Sivir Thresh. Ming, don't often times see him on the Thresh pick because he plays so much towards what is meta. Last split, Braum has been something he's gone towards. Alistar so frequently, and now he gets to have that kind of flex. No, I'm not talking about flexibility. I'm talking about literally just, if you see a camera on him right now,
on him.
He's flexing.
Yeah.
So I want to see what he can get out of you. Akali was the nerf champion that we were referring to, but if we're just talking about type of players that want to get on it, I think it's going to be a Langx champion personally.
Okay.
The utility that she has, the W that she can play through the Shroud is just so damn oppressive in team fights.
Great,
like how the hell do you fight past that? So even with the passive nerfs, I think you can get by with it.
I love how RNG still play with it after the nerfs that you said there. But they can still play with the flex. Remember what they did in Game 1? Waited till Vici Gaming picked into it. And then we saw a very different story. It's going to be the Rise banned away, though. So another flexible opportunity that's taken away from RNG.
I like the LeBlanc and Rise respect ban. That RNG recognized that Korn could do so much magic with those 2 champions. So with the Aurelia banned by Vici Gaming, I actually wonder what Korn is going to get back to. He has a whole slew of champions that he favors.
Yeah.
But now that we're put into this position, maybe he goes to something a little bit more. I actually don't really have an answer here. What Korn is willing to play?
There's been a lot banned away from those flexible opportunities. Now for RNG, if they pick this Raz, I know we've got a lot to talk about, but his Lee Sin's there as well. There's so many junglers left up, and it's the Skarner that comes in for Karsa.
Yeah, but low range here for RNG, so with the Skarner out there, it's great as an option versus the Jarvan.
With the Sivir as well.
Yes, that's true. A lot of mobility there. I don't like this hover, but it seems like we're just talking about that QSS tax.
Yeah.
It's coming from the side of RNG. Vici Gaming want to be the tax man themselves.
There's going to be a lot of lockdown. Skarner runs in, but before he can get there...
Give me a real champion.
Okay, Malzahar, a real champion.
I want a real champion.
So you got the Malzahar, you got a lot of pick there, but there's already team fight set up by Zaya Rakan. Who facilitates? Well, Chelizi at 2 games in a row now for the Cannon.
It's a lot of just lockdown from Vici Gaming. The Malzahar is a pretty good option versus the Skarner, but if we're just talking about what he has to deal with in the early game, RNG not only have the Akali as a possibility, but now they got the chance of throwing the Akali, as I mentioned. I think it's going to be a Langx champion. Xiahu here. Oh, wait. Vladimir.
Which way does this go now? It could still be a Vladimir mid, but very uncommon in this day and age.
I expect it to be a Vladimir top lane.
Okay.
Vici, RNG is the type of team that changes up a lot, right?
Yep.
If we're just talking about a team that values so much about what they've done in scrims, they're the type of team that'll say, okay, maybe we've been running a lot of Vladimir mid lane, we'll try it, but I have not seen any Vladimir mids in solo queue high ranking in Korea or Chinese.
In a long time as well.
So I'd expect it to be top lane, recognizing that he's dealing with a Kennen. Once he's able to get to level 9, he actually can trade quite easily through Crimson Rush. So that's when you could start taking over there. But RNG have showcased already that their team fight composition is going to be really interesting. Their frontliner is going to be the Skarner.
Yep.
And a lot of this is just going to be how they can play through flanks. The Vladimir kind of coming straight through with Akali.
Seems like it's a little bit difficult to execute there for RNG. But a team like RNG, IG, FPX, you don't look at how the compositions are going to be executed because you know they can get through them.
Yeah, great flanks, I think. It just depends. If they're snowballing, they're really snowballing, and I think they're going to have that shot with the Malzahar in mid lane. And then we're just going to have to see how they play through 2v2s. Last game was a little bit easier for RNG to play through with such great shove potential in mid lane that they can just start bullying the Rek'Sai.
Yep.
This time around, post 6, I mean, if you're hovering through mid lane, you're just going to be getting that full suppression there from the Malzahar. So you're going to have to deal with it. I'm just not too happy with it because, pre-6, the champion actually has a lot to worry about. The spell shield passive that he has, the cooldown that I have is so long.
It's so damn long.
You can't really control your wave either with how your E ends up working. So the wave control should be in Xiahu's favor. Also has that stun if Skarner gets a pre-6 gank. There's a lot to work. And thinking about how Ming oftentimes impacts a game, that Thresh pick early on, if he gets a roam, you can do it.
You know, Southwind will roam as well, but that's right. If Ming roams there, the lockdown is there. Long time on the spell shield in the mid lane. So a big task here for Korn. The new addition to V5, Vici Gaming. We'll see how that addition fares going into game 2 as RNG once again on match point. Our crowd has been a little bit quiet today, Raz.
Maybe they haven't turned them up. Beijing is never quiet.
Yeah,
it's a lesson that I've
that is
learned.
true.
They are never quiet. They even have a flag bearer. So we're just not hearing them. That saddens me as a human being, as a fan. My soul is darkened.
It's okay. Imagine it, folks, because RNG will be a lot of support in the arena here today, especially with RNG's recent success. There's going to be a blue side start here, and before we get to it, Youngdang there, solo red start here, so of course going to be a lot quicker for Karsa.
Yeah, that early wards on his Krug is going to be interesting for me. You always have to concern yourself if you're a Skarner that you may get invaded on, that you may have to deal with a little bit of pressure coming on the top side of the map. So understanding that Vladimir is going to be underneath his turret in the first rotation or clear of the jungle.
Yeah.
Probably concerned for Karsa there, so giving him that early vision.
We've seen level 2 ganks coming out of people like Clear Love. I think even Weiwei did it at one point as well on the Jarvan. We'll see what happens in the bottom lane. Quick trading here from Vici Gaming.
Yeah, actually just gonna come back to that one. My mind, don't know where it was. That was actually Chelizi's aggressive ward on the Krugs to catch out on Skarner's early pass. Of course. So that's where my mind was. I'm just trying to see what the hell is happening. So, gonna have a good idea if they can contest top side. Usually, junglers start bot side. They would expect Skarner to be on the bot side of the map to start with. That would be, unless if they saw any form of early vision pre-50 seconds, the type we don't get to see on the level 1s.
It is going to be Predator Skarner there, of course, as well for Karsa, who hits level 3, but is heading towards red. That ward on top of Krugs. Now, when does that expire? Because looks like red's going to go down pretty fast.
They had it pretty early on, so I would expect it to expire in about 10 seconds time. It should be gone. But like that's still a great amount of vision. If he hasn't taken Krugs, then you know he's going full for a full clear without Krugs, or Krugs really late in the game. So they should recognize now it's cleared out, but the vision is already giving you so much that you know that he ends topside or he's completely foregone it. That Youngdang finally starting out this game without much pressure on his head.
Yeah, he can go straight to Scuttlecrab as well. That's just spawned up here. Pathing is there. Over he goes. So simple stuff.
And this is the concern that I had for Korn really early on. That you don't have too much control of your own wave as a Malzahar, and your spell shield cooldown is far too long, and you can start getting traded on with an electrocute Akali in the lane deal with. So,
yeah.
That's my early concern. He does need a little bit of aid and help. If the wave gets frozen to where Xiahu has it right now, that's a damn shame. There we go. It's going to be pushing in a little bit more in favor of Korn, so that's going to be nice for him. That's the type of thing you have to be focusing on whenever you see an Akali versus Malzahar early on in the matchup. Take a look at Glacial Augment there for Korn too. So there, I wonder what the build is since we haven't seen too much Malzahar in the meta.
Maybe go to the hose into the Mystic Shadow.
Yeah.
I know that Korn was one of the proprietors of his pick last split as well. As Karsa making his way towards the mid lane. This is a deep invade just for the Spire.
But I like the idea of the hose. XDeck GLP is something that if we're thinking about who the frontliners are going to be for Vici Gaming, like the ultimate slicing Maelstrom alongside with Korn being able to get that slow across the board. Yeah, Xiahu just gave him the glare.
Yeah.
Like those, that in combination with each other can work well for Puff to get a good amount of time in these team fights to just start firing up.
Also means that, when we get to that level 6 mark as well, the lockdown, I mean, Xiahu's going to be in a pretty tough place if he doesn't manage the smoke screen first. Southwind. Speaking of which, the flame missing there from Ming, uncharacteristic of the support of RNG.
Just trying to get that minion closer to him, man.
Of course.
Yeah.
Most important part. In that mid lane, speaking of that electrocute, as you mentioned there before, very aggressive summoner choice from Xiahu. Now, the Akali usually taking the fleet footwork, but it doesn't seem like that's going to be the focus as Ignite's being dropped down on the bottom side. And a flash burnt there as well. Puff and Soutwind slightly winning out on that trade due to a summoner.
That's what you would expect from Isaiah and Rakan early on. It's the Thresh that has to worry about his own safety with, I mean, the Sivir always having that spell shield just in case, so working against Ming early on. And it's so tough as a Thresh trying to nail down a Rakan. Even with the Flame missing out early, you can always just jump right back to your AD carry if you play it right. There's always that question mark if you can play him as he's jumping back to his AD carry, cancel that out, and you're able to get a full trade on top of him. It's all about the timing at the end of the day.
Remember as well, if Ming misses anything, the auto attacks are just so punishing there on the Thresh Flay passive as well. So it's not like Ming doesn't have return damage, but in this bottom lane, Uzi and Ming, health disadvantage here against Puff and Soutwind. And this time the lane not getting overshoved by Uzi and Ming, and it's not getting punished as Soutwind flashes on in. Doesn't have the ignite, but the Blade Caller's there. Soutwind doesn't need to get him because Puff secures first blood. That's the strength again. Double TP, it's Xiahu and Korn, but they're late to the party.
Now, even with the Aftershock being procced with his play, way too low. This gets killed out with the last auto attack that Puff was able to throw through. So great confidence from Puff and Soutwind in the early laning phase to take it to Uzi.
And now Uzi's left in lane as he overstayed his welcome spell shield. Doesn't seem to be available. Puff wasn't able to catch him out as well.
Yeah, Ming having a hard time. Going to be coming back into the lane with sure ignite, but no flash makes him a primary target. So, you know, coming right into this one, getting a flash knock up on towards the Thresh. And a great dodge by Puff, too, so he doesn't get CC'd by that Thresh hook.
Yeah.
All in all, great 2v2 that you want to see from Vici Gaming early on going up against RNG.
And again, where does it start for Vici Gaming? It's the bottom lane. So Puff and Soutwind once again showing their strength here. And Youngdang, now that he's going to have pressure, now that it looks like he's going to get Scuttle Crab, this just secures it even more so.
Yeah, I want to see what the item advantage we can get here. You remember Puff picked up that kill, too, so Pickaxe, Caulfield's Warhammer versus Pickaxe and double Longsword. Yeah, that's going to be great there. It's just literally an upgrade that Puff was able to get from 5 extra AD and the cooldown reduction to boot.
Means that shove's just going to be keep on coming in. Uzi with the Pickaxe, double Longsword there. Only 5 CS behind, so kind of a good news. But in mid lane, Korn gets the shove out. You can see Ming was trying to move up to that mid lane as well. But nothing achieved.
And remember, if we're just trying to kind of bring this back to what it solves for Vici Gaming in between both these games, it gives Youngdang a lane to play through.
Lane to jump on with the Cataclysm. Level 5 out of the bottom lane here is they're going to have the advantage. That's an easy Blade Caller once again from Puff. Another kill onto Soutwind, or rather onto Ming.
And it was perfect timing too, because for Youngdang, a player in last one that was actually getting bullied quite frequently and couldn't do too much through mid, having a lane just winning out in the bottom side of the map allows you to just, if he didn't find that control ward in the tri-bush to just kind of get that gank, he would have done it through a lane gank. And it's just working out so well for Vici Gaming the bottom side early.
By punishing Uzi, it means that he's stuck under this turret no matter what, without CS, without hope really in this lane right now. Vici Gaming have accrued that gold lead, and also the 2 kills have both gone to Puff here. They're going to back away, and they're going to have such a good lead.
So they had great amount of control wards to just be able to know for certain that this was unwarded during the entire adventure. Easy kill. What does it mean? 2 kills now for Puff. 10 CS lead to begin with. Yep. Now, of course, that's being closed out, but Sivir is pushing on a wave too, so that's going to be closed out by the time. Actually, Zai is going to miss quite a bit of this one. Unfortunate back time ultimately, but still a 2 kills is going to mean a lot more. Kind of crazy. That's actually what caught me up a little bit more. It's either the replays ended up covering for that. Because whenever we have discussions about an 80 carry being behind, but still having the CS, not CS advantage, but not covering that CS advantage off of a kill, this is the reason for it.
Yeah.
So what should have been just a strict 10 CS advantage is not going to mean too much with Sivir coming right back in the lane. Let's see how much he can eat up in this wave.
Probably even more. It's only 7.
That's okay.
Okay, so 7 CS, it's kind of recouping the loss. 8 in the end as well. But we don't need to count each and every one.
Remember, a new wave coming back in the lane, so all this just matters. But like at the end of the day, you can already see Skarner coming through the lane gank. So they want to be able to respond to this, and Skarner is level 7 at this point, so he's going to be coming in for an easy gank here.
Puff does not have that Essence River yet as well, so The damage is kind of matched there by Uzi.
And here's the greatest thing about this. RNG, the reason why they brought in the Thresh is not for the pick potential, but Skarner ultimate tagged alongside with the Thresh Lantern is a play that you need to see here.
Yeah. Will Southwind get out well behind the minions? Safety's there for now. Uzi taking the brunt of the damage against Puff. Youngdang hovering, but now spotted out, and Karsa is backing away as well.
Yeah, they weren't comfortable with the fight. They have timing on the Cataclysm, and they know it's back up. So that would just nail down the plans that they have.
Korn's coming down here as well.
Wow.
Is he going to be spotted out? Well, he walked over the Spire, which is already controlled by Youngdang. And Karsa's there on the Blast Cone. He's expecting a Blast Cone over to find the Jarvan.
They're trying to fire a play on somebody. Youngdang, they see him.
Predator, flag and drag out, and the Spy is going to be the only take from that play. So that's Predator procs, and Scuttlecraft will be the take as well. Southwind pops onto the ultimate. That'll just deter them away.
He was confident he could find the pick there. He thought he can get him a little earlier on. The smite comes through, easily able to be whisked away there. Oh, here we go.
Chelizi might have ult potential here into the Sanguine pool. The transfusion proc's going to be there, but Chelizi pops the Hemoplague first, and Langx actually wins out on that trade in the end.
And he even has a Crimson Rush here to just heal right back up too, so sadness for Chelizi. He still has some life still. This is what's going to make this laning phase like mean so little.
Yeah.
These trades, just because there's so much sustain between the both of them.
Also means that as the Vladimir pushes in, Chelizi's going to have to make sure he stays safe. Up in that top lane, you mentioned the Cutlass there before, the lifesteal available with the hard shove in here and the teleport available. Chelizi should be backing now closer to the Hextech gunplay.
It's good that Chelizi's backing, not just because of getting closer. You already got the Hextech as you mentioned.
Yep.
But that health advantage, the fact that Karsa was topside, would have turned in towards a dive. But here's the lane swap coming through. Perfect timing to focus on Rift Herald.
And this time for Vici Gaming, looks like they started it off. So see if the response comes here quick, because as Rift Herald gets started, Karsa's still up here. By no means does he look like he's going to contest.
Yeah, whenever they get the first swap, they try and start as quickly as possible so they can get the timing down. Rift Herald usually takes about 20 seconds to take. They do not want to be sold into a fight. So there we go. Rift Herald in favor of Vici Gaming because of that first swap.
And look at the pings going down mid. That is a lot of spam here from Youngdang. Puff Southwind walking with him as well. Rift Herald's here. Korn has priority in lane, so this Rift Herald is going to get dropped shortly.
They won't see anybody. No Akali. Nobody they can just try and jump on. That's the combo that they've been searching through with their composition, but here comes the play.
Okay, Rift Herald over the wall. Teleports there as well. This is going to be Xiahu by the look of it. Now locked on down. That's a great Malefic Visions as well to add the damage. Xiahu in with perfect execution, and Southwind gets destroyed. Launching in here with the flank, and the Hemoplague lands onto two. Korn only just survives, but enough here as Vici Gaming have to run away. The Slicing Maelstrom available for Chelizi, but a hook from Ming that just subsedes all others. RNG in the perfect timing.
They'll look back on that and just think about how foolish it is to try and dive on Xiahu with his W available. He has a Shroud. So of course you can get the lockdown even with Southwind's W, but how are you going to lock down even further with Puff? Not possible. He can't get the auto attack through. So they weren't even able to take down Xiahu, and they dove in between two towers.
Yeah, it seemed like Southwind got the better of himself going between those two turrets first, and not something you often see from Southwind, but now to make up for it onto Xiahu, they get the charm, they get the Blade Caller through the smoke screen as well, so Vici gets something back.
Yeah, it was in a minion wave, so easily able to get the Xayah damage to follow up on that one, so even more fighting.
Oh, there's another pick. There's going to be Langx dropping down, double kill already to Puff, and Uzi might be caught out just the same as Puff starting to really knock him dead. 4-0 Xayah in the works.
Look, this is the best thing about the composition Vici Gaming have. They can just fight whenever. Right? If they're not expending all of their ultimates in one certain team fight, they will always have a leftover ultimate, some form of CC to continue on in anybody that's left over. So there we go. Vici Gaming just outright skirmishing, have a 2K gold lead.
Still ahead of Uzi. The biggest story here, Vici once again their bottom lane in an upright position. Berserker Greaves picked up. There's a QSS just bought out right there for Puffs. So defensive itemization, and this is where Southwind decided to go for the dive.
So my mind here is just make use of the Rift Herald. There's no follow-up damage that can come down to either lock down Xiahu even further. Just look at how long the Shroud even is up and available. So there's no way you're committing to the dive that long. At least Korn survives through it all, but can't say the same thing for Chelizi.
Right. Great flag, great hook. Easy stuff there from Ming. Langx with the flank. Big part of that, and recovery from Vici Gaming was my biggest surprise here, Red.
Yeah, the fact that they continue to find these picks. Didn't even see how Langx got it. Oh, okay, Cataclysm.
Fair enough.
Thought he can get out of that one, but of course didn't expect the full effect
That doesn't
of the
really make
resources.
sense, does it? Like that a pool of blood can't slip under a wall.
Hey, man. Maybe he has his head poked out.
Yeah.
I can't tell you much about the lore.
The vampire turtle. Okay.
But I know for certain, no, he probably didn't expect Youngdang to either have Cataclysm from the last fight.
Yeah.
Probably wasn't watching. For player's perspective is always important on that one. Or didn't think that he would just use it. So still got killed from that one. VG Gaming's pressure through mid is not going to dissipate. We just have to see if RNG can do anything else now.
It's like you said, for VG Gaming, drawing out these ultimates, all 5 of them are back up and available. While RNG still recovering from that last pick-off, and Langx still doesn't have the Hemoplate, but they're going to make the fight all the same. Here's Predator. There's Impale with the flash as well. They should have the damage with the transfusion, but Chelizi flashes second. Langx in for the third. And now into the fourth, we're into the mid lane again as Puff and Uzi go at it. 2 for 2 into the Blade Caller. We don't see it just yet. Puff has to heal. Almost gets taken out of Corn. Teleports in as well.
You're going right back on an Uzi.
Youngdang underneath turret might actually dive for it. The second shot comes through. The third doesn't. He eventually dies. Southwind caught out into the Malefic Visions. The ultimate just gazes at him. Big mistake here from Vici Gaming as RNG teleport in from all over the place.
Didn't want to go for a full retreat. They should still be able to get this kill.
Karsa locks him. There's a death sentence. Good night to Southwind.
All right, there we go. Didn't want to go for a full retreat. We're just trying another go at Chelizi.
You know what? They want the delayed ace. Why not? Xiahu, who's in here as well, doesn't have the perfect execution, but he has the damage to follow up. Xiahu into the smoke screen underneath the turret. Chelizi wants the 1v2, almost does. A 1-for-1 trade after all is said and done.
So much of that pressure from Karsa going to the bottom side of the map, I didn't like it. I looked at that as like, where is the damage coming from? It's going to be coming from Vladimir. Your thought process is, you thought you like a lot of people, like RNG in that instance, they had the damage for it.
Yeah.
Wasn't the case. It turned into this, where Vici Gaming got the pick through mid. And take a look at how long this takes, because for how long it took, you saw Skarner was able to come back into the fold. Vici Gaming understood with how long this takes, they need to get out of here. But, take a look. They decided, Jarvan's like, maybe I can get the kill here, but you need to have timers on flash.
Yeah.
I cannot express this any more clearer. The fact that you went on that one and didn't know that Uzi still had flash on that is surprising to me.
Puff got chunked down to 1/8 of his health. That needs to be the escape button pressed there for Vici Gaming, because this early game that was building up for the 80 carry has now just dropped. And RNG back in the swing of gold, 3,000 here moving into the mid game. Vici can only try and trade turrets off as RNG make the same approach bottom lane.
Chelizi know this is going to happen. Let's see if he can get away from this.
On the hunt has been popped. Chelizi now caught between 3 people. Predators there as well. Make it 4. Perfect execution. He had no chance. They delay the turret dive while Vici get the top side of the map.
Absolutely bully. What do you even say about that?
Vici going to try and make the trade in the top lane though, Raz, while RNG still work their way at the bottom lane turret. Chelizi getting taken down, spreads more kills across the map to RNG, and they're well ahead in their item spikes as well.
Able to get a full wave completely pushed in on the top side of the map, so it's going to be a lot longer of a lane for Vladimir to push in. Gives Corn back timing, Youngdang the same, Chelizi can just come back alive. They're going to lose out in the Earth Dragon. I think they thought that they had the time to come back into the map to contest this, but not the case. You're looking at red side jungle, completely control-worded up by RNG.
Yeah. This game's less about frustration for Vici Gaming, or maybe more so because of the mistakes that have been made. And RNG have just been clawing their way back in with these fights.
Look, whenever you see games like these, everybody's frustrated.
Yeah.
RNG's frustrated that they fell this far behind early on. Vici Gaming's frustrated that it seems like these fights are just going on constantly.
And they're just going on and on and on. This time it's going to be more visible frustration as Corn is bursted down to a thunder again. And RNG have set their Vladimir up for a success. Great flash from Langx, but into the slicing maelstrom, the 1v1 begins. Xiahu gets a bit of healing off, jumps in with perfect execution, wants to hit him hard but misses. Now on the hunt, Uzi has his turn, and a big Scorpion's coming in. Get over here! Chelizi knocked on down again. This guy gets bullied and bullied and bullied for his 4th death.
Yeah, this is when you start feeling sad for the Vici boys. Like, honestly, they feel like they've been put up against the wall when they had such a large goal lead.
Right.
And we're back to where we left off in game 1, where the vision control is deep into the blue side jungle, and they have to be starting from step 1 to take anything if they want to contest for Baron.
Gets even harder. You lose your outer turret in the top side of the map. Your blue side is completely nullified, and there is no way you're walking in there with Baron up right about now.
This is even a harder composition. If we're comparing it to last game had that Gragas, right? You're like, ooh, we got to have to deal with the cask. Maybe we can outplay it. This time around, you're dealing with a Thresh Hook. You're dealing with the unbeatable Skarner ultimate. Yeah. He's not going to be using it on...
and he's fast.
Yeah, that's true. That's the case. He's not going to be using it on Puff. But take a look at the fight here. But a lot of time with the pool to start with. And then Langx is able to get that Crimson Rush to begin. I think he even zoned it up. We'll have to see. No, actually, it was Youngdang because he realized everything was lethal. Yeah, it was all done and dusted. But yeah, when you see plays like these, you just feel frustrated for these teams. That they put in so much for the play, and it just feels like it always turns up against them.
For Vici Gaming, the proactive maneuvers in the second game, turning more so on their head as RNG. It's been rough, but they've clawed their way back into this in another firm lead in game 2. 5K, Baron sitting there. The threat is very real for Vici as they try and move slowly into the enemy side.
Not only do we have a Predator for the Skarner, has Redemption, Righteous Glory. My bad on that one. He's going to move right in.
And on the hunt as well. Ming going to play with the box here from Soutwind. Good engage here. Turn around from Vici Gaming. Potential. Puff sends out the feathers once again. They need to fly, but Korn locks on down to 1. Karsa almost dies. Youngdang, the same boat here as they eventually get the Scorpion. While the backline of Vici Gaming are wreaking havoc. Watch Puff and Soutwind here as Korn keeps them busy. Youngdang as well. Almost dies, but a good death sentence. And Uzi trying to dissuade the fight. But for Vici, 2 picks there. That could be Baron for them.
Yeah, and you're on a Malzahar comp, you could take Baron here. It has to be a contest here from RNG. They have the damage with Sivir and Vladimir. But look at the HP coming through, the regen on Vici Gaming. They could take this fight.
RNG don't want to be anywhere near the Baron. They've given it up. They say, look, we lost the fight. We're going to lose the Baron as well. Let's get something on the map. Clearing vision towards the bottom side where the next dragon's going to spawn and maybe find something else. But for Vici, a good news story in another game too, where they win the fight and they win the Baron.
Saw the dead body on the field, and it was a Kali. A Kali in that fight, if you look back to it, was crucial.
Yep.
Because, sure, the Cataclysm comes through, the Flash comes through from Uzi. He's no longer a part of it. RNG still has a great chance in that fight. Because the primary focus is the flank from both Vladimir and a Kali. That's going to wreck Puff's day. But Puff was able to reposition. This was the beginning. All that engage on top of Uzi was able to get out of it, albeit with 40% HP. And then you start seeing the damage. Look at Puff, retreat to the top side. Have so much to be able to just feather dance, all of that. There was no way for Xiahu to come in on take the kill on Puff. And it screws RNG over, frankly.
I thought that was just a grand entrance, but Puff gets the edge of the feathers to get the lockdown as well. So perfectly played by the bottom lane of Vici Gaming. And the longer this game goes, the more these players become possible from Puff and Soutwind. Almost 3 items now on the Xayah after getting yet another kill in that fight.
Yeah, and he was delayed a little bit with that QSS, so once he gets that Infinity Edge, he's in a fabulous position. Right now, Vici Gaming are team fighting. At least if you see that last team fight, how they were able to perform, he still has his flash. Crazy that we're seeing Puff still be in that position to stand and deliver.
And remember, the Southwind has 6 conversions in this game as well, so the Xayah Rakan are going to be pumping out damage together.
Is he broken?
I think he's broken.
He just said that it was a better chance now for RNG to win.
Okay, let's reverse that. Probably RNG before, now he thinks Vici Gaming have got an edge.
What the hell is that? Something is in his chicken.
Yeah.
And it's not good.
Oh, wow. I'm not even going there, Raz. At this point, although Vici Gaming may have the Colonel's favor, it's still a big goal lead for RNG. It's still 3,000 coming into this 25-minute moment. And although Chelizi now has 2 items, so with the Zhonyas, he can go into the fight safely. I need to see Vici Gaming get yet another one to make me a believer.
Yeah, yeah, exactly, right? The reality is, this is probably what the Colonel is banking on. That Vici Gaming still need that one more fight. The Baron buff that they had here is far more defensive than it is them getting that opening to go for an inner turret. Yeah. But I look at the compositions and I say that, hey, I like that ultimate liquid vision, all that Korn and Chelizi is going to be able to provide if we're just talking about how Xiahu can find that flank. I think that's, if we're just talking about how Vici Gaming can play this one out in these fights, they can buy Puff a lot of time just by outright nullifying Xiahu and Langx's flank position. So that's is that what we see? Then I think we're in a great spot for Puff.
But at the moment, that Baron that's being used defensively is just going to expire. And we're being put on a clock once again until the next one spawns. So getting the waves clear, you get a turret off it if you're Chelizi. So it's not like Vici didn't get absolutely anything.
Not even diehard fans will look at, you know, Baron being taken away, a loss in team fight will think, you know who has a better chance?
Yeah.
The team that lost.
Yeah. Yeah, I know you're
It
upset
gets their
by the
blood
Colonel.
boiling.
Yeah. I know you're just upset by the Colonel, but...
A splash of cold water on the face is what the Colonel was thinking.
We'll see. I'm sure they have a better option in Kentucky anyway. For Chelizi, though, in this game...
It is the best option.
still seems to be in the side lane against Vladimir, 20 CS down, but not that it matters at this point. Again, remember, 2 minutes 18 on the top right-hand corner of your screen. That's when we'll see the fight next. That's when we'll see that Baron contested for a second time.
I just want to see Magic Pen Boots bought by Corn at this point. He has a lot of great slow and just basically a lot of wonderful utility in team fights.
Yep.
But I think just him having the flat penetration would be a lot that can help him in his cause. The range that he's able to have on his Q at this point just does a lot to Uzi in these fights. So if you're a Sivir and you're staring down the bottom of, like, you know, the range, the effective range Azaya has with her feathers is huge. And then you start thinking about the Malzahar that's just looking at you at all times. And then the cannon ult range. So, like, it's realistically difficult for RNG to find these fights if they don't get all the setup.
Or you can just do what Xiahu's doing and set up the ult. Flash doesn't matter. Perfect execution in the name for Xiahu.
What do you even say after that?
That was intense. That was insane. That was beautiful from the Akali. But now for Vici Gaming, suddenly, when you have hope around this next Baron, you got a timer and you got an Akali who's pushing topside.
Yeah, this Akali's mad. Put her in the side lane and never let it go. That's the plan from this point forward.
And after that sick play, you're expecting the fourth item to start getting built. Now, they're saying the Vici Gaming 1,700 gold back in their pockets after Baron, or at least back into the lead. I'm going to translate that. Okay, great. Fantastic. 3K is the difference. It seems like RNG have actually just taken some back of that gold anyway. So that's that.
What I want to see, I think what RNG continues to do, Sivir through mid, so she gets pushed. Akali from top, she gets pushed consistently. It's not anything Vici Gaming can deal with. It always seems like they're just looking at a deep and dark forest, and they have to find a way to traverse it.
Yeah.
Skarner is in a great spot to be able to nail somebody with his ultimate. And I'm concerned for Youngdang in particular. He's going to be coming in, he's going to be their frontliner, throw down his flag, just to see if there's anybody in the bush, and he's going to be the one that gets caught out. So.
To be fair, though, if he gets caught out, the GA enables Puff and Southwind to get into the fight.
That's the worst thing. No.
No.
No, I will never allow that to be a counterpoint.
Okay.
He's in a bad spot,
well,
and that's a bad
either
spot.
way, Youngdang has GA, so...
Anything happens, he can die and revive
yeah,
about
that's
50%
it.
HP.
And then maybe he can flag and drag out. I don't know.
Hey, at least they have pressure now. Actually, they can just start it if they want, you know?
That's all the vision cleared as well. Good ward in the river. A lot of teams don't go for that. As Puff, the Predator's going to be procced here. Do we see Uzi go into the fight?
There we go.
Now everyone's split from Vici Gaming. Look at Karsa, forces the flash out of Southwind, flashes onto Chelizi. Over ambitious, maybe, but Chelizi burns his own.
Yeah, it's Chelizi and Southwind both flashing off of all of that.
Yeah.
That's just a big win from RNG. I mean, sure, Karsa had to do it his own, but now that they're reclaiming vision control, that's not too concerning for Skarner. But it hurts for Southwind.
Look at where Xiahu is, though, Raz. There's no vision to spot him here. Youngdang, the flag is down. You talked about this before. The GA, is it really the counterpoint, Raz? I don't think it is. That's one down already. And RNG, no Vici, are abandoning the jungler as we go into a pause.
All right, Youngdang, what's your excuse now?
Any other league, I feel like we could say
Actually,
that. Oh,
like
it's Karsa's like, man.
It's RNG side. Karsa's like, I did something wrong.
I think he ult F4. I don't know. He's like, well, that's it.
All of his cups are upright, so that you can't say that anything spilled. He had a lot of cups in front of him.
What a time to pause that as well.
Something happened. It's not too bad of a timing because Jarvan was just dead in front of him.
Yep.
It wasn't like it was in the thick of things in the team fight, just like GP trying to ignite that last barrel and pause. what happened with our, JDG versus EDG in our regionals. That was a painful one. No one likes lag on land, my friends.
No, they do not.
But this one I don't think is anywhere near that. You can see Karsa owning it up.
Gives us a chance to break down maybe how we got in this position as well. I know that for Baron, there was well, I mean, Karsa's
What
laughing.
actually happened,
So,
Karsa?
I'm very curious. For the Baron play, instead of going straight to it, RNG cleared out vision and then just headed back mid.
All those top laners, I'm seeing them. I understand we can't, you know, say what's happening in the language, but literally all that was amazing. Jay, that was Atai, that was Langx.
Yeah.
We just have a pool of top laners in this organization. They all want to play. You can make a team top lane. We already have a top esports.
Yeah, it's top esports and then team top lane.
Yeah.
I feel like you'd get in trouble.
RNG, whenever they come into the field, they just have a whole slew of memes, and it's sad that we can never translate them. But I still love that they come out.
We still see that classic. I think it's Ming. Ming from stream. Or maybe it's Xiahu.
Look, whenever it comes down to memes coming from streams, like either it's
Doomby.
Mako, Doomby, all of them.
Amazing
it's just like
Dre.
the most unflattering photos of all time.
Amazing Jay when he cosplayed on stream.
Well, I mean, yeah. That hardly actually follows up. That
That's
hardly
true.
follows through. Like the fans don't bring that up to me. You know, that's
There
all
it is.
You just saw another picture with someone, you know, as Ming, 100%.
Okay, so it
Had
was
another
Ming.
bad hair day.
Yep.
You just get these.
Oh,
And now he's
okay,
dead.
now we're back in. Hello.
How you doing?
Youngdang had to experience that in slow motion, Raz, as we're now to a 5v4 and welcome you back to Summoner's Rift.
How does it feel to just be in limbo as you look at your own dead corpse?
You're like, I know I'm dead here. Jay popped, and Raz, you're definitely right about that counterpoint as we go into 4v5 mode with TP engaged.
We'll have to see what Horn can do in this fight. Doesn't have flash either yet, so let's see what hook. The hook has to be the decider.
We'll let everyone know that's a level 16 Vladimir, though, so if you can get in the back with Xiahu's also level 16, this is going to be big.
Okay, completely reset the HP of the Baron, and it did a lot of work on Karsa's HP, so good job on Vici Gaming stalling that one out. Oh!
Uzis. If anyone else was there from Vici Gaming, Uzi was dead.
Are they going to start this? That's a lot of control. That's 2 control words and all right, there we
Slows
go.
things down, Raz.
Get it!
That was backstow from everyone apart from Uzi, so it's pretty big for RNG.
They didn't want to start it? Who? What?
Southwind's like, oh, just hit it once.
Please!
Hit it.
Team!
There you go.
All right, they don't want to take that risk.
Amazing what pauses can do. Vici Gaming get a chance to go through another
Amazing
one.
What pauses can do,
Yeah.
says Hysterics.
Yep.
Jake Hysterics, Ozzy Penko.
Karsa's not smiling, Raz.
Let's find out who is. Investigate.
Vici's not smiling.
No one is talking, nor are they smiling. This is not a joke, everybody.
Okay, so now this one is different.
Neither of them are smiling.
No.
Ah,
Upset.
everyone is serious.
Everyone
okay,
is
we
very
got him.
confused.
We got him. We got a smiling person. Anyways, back to...
Yeah,
I don't even know what the hell I'm saying at this stage of the
Okay.
game.
Sorry, that's what
But,
happens when you cast something.
I mean, yes. Vici Gaming, at this stage, I would actually have gone for that play because I don't think, and I think what they're concerned about is a possibility of a flank ward that they haven't looked to set up and cleared, and you don't want the Vladimir to be able to find that. As you can see, over 9,000. I just want to keep just go through the audience, see what they got.
Yeah. Some good quality content. Sorry, what were you saying, Raz? You're onto something.
Yeah. I always cut myself off. It's probably frustrating other people. The fact that they could start Baron. They're concerned for flank wards. They don't want to get completely flanked out by Vladimir. That's something they do not want.
Yeah.
So they're just going to try and play this one out slowly. They need to focus on their formation more so than anything because Puff just needs to protect it. So the fact that they were able to stall it out, Jarvan coming back onto the map, I think is a big plus for Vici.
Yeah, RNG not sitting on that Baron means that this game is definitely far from over. And for Vici Gaming, remember, they shored up the majority of this gold disadvantage that they had earlier on. So it means that they can contest with this Baron. And my best AD carry, it's very personal.
Yeah, it is.
It's very, very personal.
That's that personal list. Whenever somebody says, actually, statistically, this guy is better, I didn't say your best AD carry. That's mine.
That's true.
So
Welcome back
screw you.
to Summoner's Rift again. As I was mentioning before, that 3K gold lead, you can see on your screen, almost towards the 4 mark here for RNG, but 30 minutes in, gold's getting less and less relevant as we get to our final items, especially for those AD carries. Double Zeal there. We'll have a look at how Youngdang got picked off before the replay.
Yeah, just to refresh your mind with all the pauses that came through. And of course, with the positioning that was put through, Xiahu on the bot side. Now we know why that happens. Karsa disconnected somehow. Look, this is what investigation gets you.
Yeah. I'm curious about the second pause, but I guess we won't get an
Doesn't
answer to that.
matter.
No.
Got the resolution on the first pause. Okay. You thought the game was over at the 28-minute mark.
Only just begun. It's 31 minutes in, so 3 minutes after the fact, Youngdang.
I like making rash conclusions.
He's going to be called out.
Get out of there!
Is he going to pull him in with the Impale? Yes, he is. Vladimir's there as well. The land gets dropped on out as they jump onto Karsa, gets popped up twice. Soutwind in as well as Vladimir flashes in. Xiahu comes in for the flank, and this is RNG's fight to be taken however they want. He glides across the dead body of Puff, and that's going to be all she takes here for RNG.
These are huge death timers, 47 seconds on Puff. They can just go straight towards the inhibitor, already pinging it.
Pause is all the same. They feel revitalized after that one. It took Karsa to die so that they can take out the 4 members of Vici Gaming. This inhibitor, turret, and inhibitor itself doesn't stand a chance.
They got a pretty good wave here to work with. I think they try and go for the end.
All right, wave's going to start crashing in after the inhibitor gets dropped on down. Korn
Clear
trying to
it.
dissuade them. Has a lot of wave clear, remember. But if he gets jumped on, it's going to be a different story. He flashes away, trying to slow down time, but he can't. He handles it. He's just a mage. And RNG coming to this game and this series as strong as we expected. Heading the Nexus away, flashing for the fancy play. A 2-0 for RNG again.
There we go. RNG start this series strong. Vici Gaming did come back, and that's something that we should focus on. The fact that Corrin had his debut performance with Vici Gaming, his first series with Vici, and it looked pretty damn good going up against the undefeated RNG. Not good enough. Clean sweep here from RNG.
It shows you the difference between the two teams at the moment. And RNG are looking precise here in summer. Langx fits into this team so damn well, but Xiahu is playing out of his right mind. The Akali game too, going to be very memorable.
Yeah, I remember I was calling for him to play an assassin. I was talking about LeBlanc. I love the Akali.
Yep.
Being in his wheelhouse to find the fact that he was going and getting those flanks. The end game was great. But back to Vici Gaming, of course, because we always want to find a solution for the team. For them to at least get better, right? We want steps here. We don't want them stalling out. I think Corrin is a proper step. I think something we should be focusing more so on is having an ideal identity for the team. Whenever you bring in new mid laners, be it Puff, Corrin, Ian, they come in with their own special mix. A lot of them come in as like assassin players that want to be able to get their own advantages.
Yep.
The Malzahar, while that pick itself is something that I didn't like, I like the idea of being that facilitator and allowing more space to be played through by Puff. Puff had a great game once again, and he's being given more resources. And I think that more often we get to see that is when you get to see Vici fly.
That big fight with Korn, starting it off with the Nether Grasp, was what you could see Vici were trying to achieve, how they were trying to bring themselves back into game 2 around Puff. And for an early part, I was going to say majority, they had a gold lead.
Yeah, and I think it came down to a lot of the crazy skirmishes that happened topside. I think misunderstanding the pressure from RNG and if they had members in the area. I would say a lot of kudos to Karsa and Ming being on the right side of the map, or even Xiahu's teleports to be able to catch out a few players. And remember that solo kill that happened top lane where Akali was getting a good shove out, comes through the bush, gets the kill on towards the Malzahar. Just those type of chips when Vici Gaming are sitting well changes a lot. And even that earlier point we were talking about, this is when Vici Gaming still had their gold lead. About just back timings, the right ones. Even when you lose out in a play, you still get the maximum. And that's what we saw from Uzi early on in the game. So RNG, they slipped up in game 2. They came right back at it again. Slipped. Whenever I say slip up with Vici Gaming slips up a lot of teams.
A lot, yeah.
They screw up a lot of teams out there. Put them into a full game 3. So in this case, at least RNG held on.
And to be fair, this is the first game in summer that Vici Gaming have not taken to game 3. So
That's true.
I don't know if that's better or worse. You were talking about mentality there before and how a 2-0 or a 0-2 is better than a 1-2 loss.
Sometimes it's easy to just come out and say, we just straight sucked.
Okay.
We have a lot to work on.
Yep.
Good video footage to be able to look back as a team with Coach Long. And so that feels a little bit better than going the full distance and then losing by a hair. Obviously, you still get the points. And so if we're just talking about statistically speaking, having those points later down the line when we go into week 9, 10, that's incredibly valuable. But it's all about development here for Vici Gaming.
And I mean, if RNG, they're looking at development at the start of the split. That's why Langx's there. That's why we're looking at an RNG that are, you know, developing off last split, Raz, right? Coming into this split, I've seen some of the best RNG I've seen since I mentioned 2018. I'm excited for this team going forward.
And if we're just talking about the teams that are in the mix of that, remember, it's not only just RNG, LNG still undefeated as well. EDG is looking fantastic.
Yeah.
FPX, there are just a lot of great teams right now that when we start to go into next week, it's when you start seeing those power matches. Those powerful matches that you're like, these are the greats going up against each other. And you get your first taste of that here tonight.
Yeah, you do. EDG and ING coming up very shortly before we do go to a break, Raz. One last question for you, and that is, for Vici Gaming, steps forward or steps back after seeing this series? Do you see that Korn is just 100% going to make this team better throughout summer?
It's a step forward, but it's like a slight step forward. It's one of those things where it's a plus from Ian and Jay, but we need to see something in the top set of them. At the end of the day, the improvements need to be coming through from Youngdang and Chelizi. When they lose, it's from either team fight execution or Youngdang and Chelizi. So if we have another roster change, excellent. If we're just talking about just them improving individually through the long run, they have a lot of faith in these players, then that's even better.
I'm looking forward to Vici Gaming, how they push themselves forward. Of course, we're going to have a short break. When we return, we go to our next match, Raz. We get our MVP just before it, but IG, EDG coming up as our match of the week right after this.